This is the next in the Patriot Minute series. I'm Grandpa Rick. They may have gotten me, but I got my boys home. This is the incredible true story of Robert Femoyer, Lieutenant Robert Femoyer, and his mission over Nazi Germany. In fact, this was one of the vital missions, bombing missions of World War II. The target were the synthetic oil refineries at Luna, Germany, defended by well over 1,700 anti-aircraft guns and 34 batteries. These were mostly German 88s and 105s. The Americans that flew these missions called this area Flak Hell. Lieutenant Robert Femoyer's fifth mission, in fact, is the B-17 Navigator on the Flying Fortress Hotshot Green, and he'd gotten there the hard way. When the Japanese attacked Pearl Harbor, Robert joined the Army Air Corps. He volunteered for pilot training, wanted to be a pilot, but he washed out of the program. This was a devastating blow to the young man. He asked for another chance, but instead they sent him to navigator school. This was not what he wanted. On his fifth mission now over Germany, a powerful explosion from flak tore through the plane's fuselage, knocking Robert off his seat. He rolled over on the floor, blood flowing, and then the pain hit him like a sledgehammer. He tried to rise, but there was no way. The pilot yelled through the radio for navigational coordinates. The plane was damaged. They'd lost 2 of their engines, and they were falling behind their squadron. But Robert couldn't move. "Help me back to my seat, please," Robert pleaded with a nearby gunner. The gunner rushed to his side and said, No, Robert, you're bad hurt. I'll give you morphine." But Robert refused. He said, "No, I must have a clear head. Help me up. Get me back to my seat." The gunner lifted Robert to his table, to his seat, where he could work his charts, and holding him in place, in fact, because he couldn't do it by himself. Lieutenant Robert Femoyer then calculated the coordinates to the target. The mission completed, the oil refinery was destroyed, and then the great lumbering bird turned about to make its run for home. For the next 2.5 hours, continually fighting unconsciousness, Robert stayed at his seat, calculating a safe zigzag route out of German-occupied airspace, making 6 different course changes, incredibly. What he accomplished while severely wounded was almost beyond the realm of human endurance, said the official report later. Finally, his work done, he collapsed. The Flying Fortress, only 2 engines working barely, finally touched down, all of Robert's crew safely back at their airbase in Rattlesden, England. But as the ambulance drove Robert to the hospital and his crew standing around trying to encourage him to hang on a little longer, he finally gave in to the pain and loss of blood. Looking into the nurse's eyes on the ambulance, his final words to her were, "They may have gotten me, but I got my boys home." Lieutenant Robert Femoyer died on his way to the hospital. His body was flown back to Florida to his parents. Then on May 9th, 1945, his mother and father were presented the Congressional Medal of Honor in their son's behalf. The raid on the Luna synthetic fuel plant, though woefully costly, destroyed enemy oil production, which doomed Hitler's plans for a counterattack to rescue the Reich, a breakout attack that they had planned, which played out next month and the next month after that in the Battle of the Bulge, actually a month and a half later. For without fuel, the Nazi war machine, its tanks, planes, they died a deserved death. We at the Legacy Generation hope our youth will one day help fulfill the incredible biblical prophecy of returning the hearts of the children to their fathers, which is in Malachi 4 and 6. Embracing our exceptional history and how our heroes changed the world for the better. You know, some tell me this. They say, "Rick, it's not possible anymore. We're just too divided as a nation." But I say to them, and I hope we all say it, let's do all we can to prove them wrong. Thank you for your time. I'm Grandpa Rick.